So today on Stories with Steve, low, current event type stuff. I don't know if people outside of New York had heard this story, but it's absolutely ridiculous. So basically, in Harlem, you got this tall, goofy, lanky, stupid kid. You know what I mean? Wearing a COVID mask, like it's still the pandemic or something, right? He's following this little short chick. He looks like he's about, I don't know, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". She looked like she's all of 4'10", 4'11" at the most, right? And in the video, you can see he's trying to pursue her. You hear the girl repeatedly say, "Get away from me, get away from me, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. Get away from me." This buffoon continues to follow her, and he's got his little hype man, some extra little goofy, who deserves his own super kick in the face for just existing, right? So she goes, "Get away from me." Goes on the sidewalk to try to get away from weirdo number one and his cheerleader in the background who's videotaping. He can't take that she doesn't want to give him her number or whatever. So this idiot picks up this young girl up in the air, slams her on top of her head, then proceeds to walk over and stomp on her head and neck. Needless to say, you could tell the poor girl ends up in the damn hospital behind this stuff. And his stupid goofball cheerleader, extra goofy friend is over there, right? So, needless to say, outrage, right? Outrage all over. These are kind of cowardly, weirdo tactics. I don't know what's up with these young, low testosterone having effeminate, you know, soft cupcake ass, you know what I mean, beating on women as youngsters. Because it seems to be more of an epidemic with y'all. I don't know if because y'all be don't know what gender y'all are by week to week or something like that. You think you could do that to a girl, and I don't know. But so needless to say, there's outrage all over the city, right? Uh, there's people, regular age to older, and probably some people his age range, probably wanting to put hands on him, discipline him in some kind of way. So eventually, the authorities grab him. But then his mother, instead of like your average mother, which if you don't want to say nothing bad about your child, just don't say nothing at all. But your son's on video pursuing some young girl who obviously didn't want any of his advances, right? And he can't take no for an answer. So he picks her up and slams on her head, which could kill her by itself, and then he stomps on her neck and her head, which looks like attempted murder. You know what I'm saying? But the stupid mother, with like an odd accent, I don't know if she was like Trini or something. She's, "Oh, she was bullying him. He has flat feet. And at some point in school, she pushed him. And he had to go to the hospital. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I know people with flat feet. I know people with plantar fasciitis and all that stuff. If somebody who is like, you know, 4'10" pushes you, unless I don't know if you're sleeping standing up or something, how do you end up in the hospital? That's a lame ass excuse, right? Then she was trying to say that the girl was friends with him, right? She was friends with him. She had his number. She didn't have his number. Then why is he asking for the number, right? And then, oh, and this and that, and they're friends. And but she called him this, and she's raped. How maybe just me. If I'm gonna play the victim card with the giant goofball, right? If somebody is like pushing me down to where I end up in the hospital and calling me racial or ethnic slurs or making fun of my religion or whatever the heck, why am I gonna be friends with them? You that you that hard up that you'll take anything? Like she could probably hit you with a car and you still want to get with her? No. Obviously, this mother's making lame excuses and she doesn't want to take any accountability. God forbid, right? She doesn't want to take any accountability for her son's dumbass deeds, right? Or for God forbid, have some shame at the way her child's acting. So she's making a bunch of lame ass excuses for her son. You know what I'm saying? But this seems to be more like a little epidemic going on with y'all younger fellas. You know what I mean? You can't take rejection, so you just go into like borderline try to kill a girl mode. You know what I'm saying? Like a few years ago, there was another case where, and funny enough, in Harlem still, and a young lady went into the liquor store to buy herself a bottle of wine, and some guy in there tried talking to her. Maybe she wasn't his type. Maybe she didn't like his outfit. I don't know. But he got all butthurt about it. He follows the girl out, circles the girl with his friends, starts to beat her up, then grabs her by the face and bites her eyeball. Straight weirdo, non-civilized type activities like biting somebody's eyeball, picking up a girl, slamming them on the neck. Like if that hard up, dude, go find somewhere where you could pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't need to risk penitentiary chances. Not to mention, most of you guys are these little frail ass dudes. You don't got nothing in your system, you know what I'm saying, but some Gatorade and a perk, and you weigh like 120 pounds. You go past the island, you go upstate or whatever. These dudes are working out all day, eating good commissary, and they just see a little frail ass dude in there for like assaulting women or whatever. You know what I mean? It, you can have on so many shanks or whatever, something gonna end up happening to you. Especially with the guys from my age to older, they're not beating on women or children. That shit just don't go. Whether it's a blue collar guy that's never been to jail, or a dude doing life on the installment plan. You know what I'm saying? Or a dude who got locked away from when he was little and he's still up there. Nobody likes hearing about that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if you're that hard up, go find somewhere to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? But this is like, I don't know. I don't know if it's because y'all got low testosterone. You know what I mean? You're on all weird different drugs. So your freaking emotions are all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Half y'all don't know what orientation y'all are, or you're male or female from day to day. It switches. But you got to get your stuff together. You know what I mean? I hope when that young man hits the island or hits whatever, you know what I'm saying, everybody dances on his head collectively. You know what I'm saying? The neutral people, gang members, even the COs, everybody just dance on his head. Because we got to stop this activity. You know what I'm saying? Where these young men are just brutalizing girls, you know what I mean? Or old ladies or whatever, because they think they're tough to beat on an old person, or they're that butthurt that a girl doesn't want to give them their phone number or whatever like that, that they gotta either slam a girl on her neck, or the case a few years ago where the dude grabbed the girl and bit her by the eye like he was a friggin', I don't know, like a coyote with rabies or something. But this needs to get cleaned up. Get your act together. Stories with Steve.